living in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But how do I explain the winter? Hey, this is Sonnenschein with eXp Realty. In this video, I intend to do just that and address the elephant in the room. If you don't mind, I'm going to explain this through a personal story that just happened to me right now in my living room. So I'm at home doing chores, one of my favorite hobbies. Anyway, as I'm going through this mind-numbing exercise, looking for some inspiration for a video on Sioux Falls. And I don't know how I'm going to do that in December. And then all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, something catches my attention. And I just start to roll tape and find a lot of things to be grateful for about living in Sioux Falls in the winter months. All of a sudden, that's it. That's what I'm after. And I hop in my car, push residential speed limits around. May I film this? It's a family in the back and a gentleman driving a team of horses, pulling not a hayride, but a horse-drawn Christmas sleigh ride in my residential neighborhood. Hey guys, Merry Christmas! So in that encounter, I found a number of things just to be grateful for. I mean, this is a residential area with not easy access to get in and out of. It wasn't an event. It wasn't advertised. There were no lines or crowds. It was just as pure as what it was. And so that gives me that sense of community that Sioux Falls brings. When I talk about community, there are many different levels to that. But the first one that comes to mind is the city. I mean, it is so cool that that can be done without it having to be such an event. And the community supports that kind of stuff. The city supports that kind of stuff. Then obviously also the sense of community with neighbors or neighborly people. I mean, I didn't know any of those individuals. Granted, it's in the vicinity of my neighborhood, but I didn't know them. They were very polite. They stopped. We had conversation. We wished each other well. And we went on our way, and I was a stranger to them zipping around the corner. And then I'm also grateful for just the majestic sense and the backdrop with the snow-capped everything. The streets are clean, by the way. A real white Christmas. And while we're on the topic of snow, Sioux Falls, we had our first snowfall of the year just a couple of nights ago. And I have to tell you, there was no wind. We got about 5 to 7 inches of snow, and the snowflakes were as big as golf balls, crystal symmetrically perfect. I felt like I was in the animated movie Frozen, and I'm not kidding you. Let me show you a couple of pictures I received from a family member. Now, the other cool thing about that evening and that snowfall was we had thunder and lightning. And this story made national news. So I look out my window at 11 o'clock, 5 to 6 hours after the sunset, and this is what I saw. It was beautiful. You could see just like it was daylight. And apparently, as I understand it, they call that thunder snow. And because of the electricity that was happening early during the snowfall, it lit the sky up like that. It was, again, majestic and beautiful. So next, I'd like to take you through a benefit, a cause that my mother and I participated in, put on by the St. Francis House just this winter. Now, the benefit is walk a mile in my shoes, and it's specifically for the homeless and the hungry. And the idea is we walk a mile, we start a mile away from the St. Francis House, and we walk a mile ending at the St. Francis House, all carrying backpacks with 15 pounds, if I recall correctly, of non-perishable and necessities, if you will. But the idea for us to carry it in the cold was the homeless, if they're carrying everything that they own in that cold. It's a great benefit. It's very powerful. And for just a comedic break here, I mean, halfway through, I walked back to get the car so I could pick my mother up so we didn't have to walk 2 miles. But again, just a worthy cause. And again, it reminded me of something that I have to be very grateful for with all that I've been blessed with to live here. You know, in the spirit of gratitude and, well, Thanksgiving, my mother and my children and I, we served at the St. Francis House the day of Thanksgiving for the evening meal for the residents and staff, and we got to enjoy a Thanksgiving supper with them as well. There are residents that live there that are in transition to the next phase of their life. They're putting one foot in front of the other, and this is an opportunity to serve that and help them grow as well. And if you're ever interested in that, there's contact information below. It is a great way to serve. One of the last things I want to show you is this is my mother, my sister, my 3 children, and I down at the Parade of Lights to light up downtown Sioux Falls, which is gorgeous. That'll be another video, I'm certain, to kick off the Christmas season. And I'll just show you a couple of clips. I'm standing outside the Parade of Lights with my two of my kids and my mother.
Oh, bubbles.
My sister, Riker. It's probably no secret, this is my favorite part. By the way, yes, they're riding motorcycles in December. And that also touches my heart. I'm a Harley guy myself. By the way, the Black Hills, that'll be another video. Just across the state, the best Harley Davidson touring bike ride in the country, if you ask me, and I've been all over. Well, that's a wrap for me. I gotta hustle up here. I have an invitation to go to the Sioux Falls Symphony tonight with a high school classmate of mine, Nicole Kilburn, her mother. Yes, we have culture too. It's Chris Sonnenschein with eXp Realty. If you enjoyed the content of this video, I invite you to like and subscribe. A lot of the things I referenced, I have links below if you want to research them a little bit more. And again, I invite you to come back. I'm going to cover a lot of things about real estate and living in Sioux Falls. It's my pleasure to keep you informed.